Hello everyone, this is S. Pravalika, Assistant Professor, Department of AML, Aditya University. In the today's lecture, we are going to discuss regarding solid principles. So let us start with the today's session. So at the end of this lecture, student will be able to explain about solid principles. So already in the last session, we discussed regarding two of the solid principles. One is single responsibility principle, and the second one is open close principle. And in the today's session, we are going with the next remaining three principles. So the third principle is Liskov substitution principle. So what is meant by a Liskov substitution principle? This principle was introduced by Barbara Liskov in the year 1987. So this principle was introduced by Barbara Liskov in the year 1987. According to this principle, derived or the child class must be able to replace their base or parents class. So we already know regarding parents class, child class, base class, derived class, superclass and subclass, which are the part of inheritance. So what does these things do over here? So when coming to the concept of inheritance, so we all know that the features will be acquired from one class to another class. So what was according to this principle states that a derived or the child class must be able to replace the parents class or else the base class. So that means they should be in a position to replace the parent class. This ensures that any subclass can be used in place of its parents class without causing unexpected behavior in the program. So that means the child class, whatever, or else the subclass, or else the derived class, whatever is going to replace the parents class should not disturb or else should not create an unexpected behavior in the program. So for suppose if we are going to replace the parent class with the child class also should exactly work in the same way. It should not cause any unexpected behavior or else it should not disturb the existing parent class. So let us see an example with this. So an example. One of the classic examples of this principle is a rectangle having four sides. A rectangle's height can be any value, width can be any value. A square is a rectangle with equal width and height. So we can say that we can extend the properties of rectangle class into square class. So what exactly is the example stating? So for example, if we are taking a rectangle, so rectangle will be having a height, rectangle will be having a width. But a rectangle can have any of the height value and any of the width value. And when we are taking a square is a rectangle with equal height and width. So a square will be having all sides in an equal way. So what are we saying? We can extend the features of rectangle into square, or else we can extend the properties of rectangle towards the square. As it matches, we need to keep the principle in mind. So what was the principle stating? Ensure that any subclass can be used in place of parent class without causing unexpected behavior in the program. So what is the principle stating as? So we can replace a child class with a parent class without causing any unexpected behavior in the program. So if we are taking an example of rectangle with the square, so rectangle can have any of the height and any of the width. But when we are taking a square should have an equal values of height and as well as width. So can we state the example for this Liskov substitution principle? Is it satisfying the Liskov substitution principle? Let us see. Replacing a rectangle with the square forces constraints which changes the expected behavior of parents class. So what is the principle? It should not change the parents behavior, or else it should not change the parent class. But what is happening here? If we are replacing a rectangle with a square, forces the constraints which changes the expected behavior of parent class. So if we are just want to substitute a rectangle along with the square, so definitely it is going to cause an unexpected behavior where the parent's behavior is going to get changed. So this is going to violate the Liskov substitution principle because a derived class should not alter or break the expected behavior from the base class. So if we are just trying to shift from a rectangle towards a square, it is going to violate the Liskov substitution principle. But what is according to the rule? So derived class should not alter or break the expected behavior of the base class. So this is regarding Liskov substitution principle. So let us see the next principle, interface segregation principle. So what is interface segregation principle going to deal with? This principle applies to interfaces and is similar to single responsibility principle, focusing on keeping interfaces specific and well defined. So what is this interface segregation principle going to do? Simply, this principle will be applied to the interfaces, and this is similar towards single responsibility principle. So what is going to happen in single responsibility principle? So one person can be having a single responsibility. So that means, or else one particular task should be done by one particular person. So this is what a single responsibility principle is mean by. So what was here we are doing, this principle will be applied to the interfaces and is similar to single responsibility principle, focusing on keeping interfaces specific and well defined. So where is it going to focus on? It is going to focus on the interfaces specific and well defined. So the interface must be in a focused way, and also it has to be in a well defined manner. It states that clients should not be forced to depend on methods that are irrelevant to them. So what is it stating? So the clients, whoever working or else whoever existing, they should not be forced to depend on one specific goal which is irrelevant to them, or else one specific method which is irrelevant to them. Avoiding unnecessary dependencies. So we should not force a client to stick on the methods which are irrelevant for them. The goal is to prevent fat interfaces by using multiple small client-specific interfaces, each with a clear and specific responsibility. So what is the goal here? So the goal is to provide fat interfaces by using multiple small client-specific interfaces. So client-specific interfaces in the sense, so we are not pushing the client with unnecessary specifications and all. So we are just providing only what is specific to the client with a clear and specific responsibility. So what is the job to be done? That should be expressed in a very clear-cut way. So this is regarding interface segregation principle. So let us see an example which states this interface segregation principle. So suppose you are entering a restaurant and you are a pure vegetarian. The waiter in that restaurant gave you the menu card which includes the vegetarian items, non-vegetarian items, drinks and sweets. So for example, you are entering a restaurant and you are a pure vegetarian. So the waiter in the restaurant gave you the menu card which includes the vegetarian items, non-vegetarian items, drinks and sweets. So you are entering a restaurant and you are getting a menu card which is having all items included. What is according to the interface segregation principle? So interface segregation principle states as we need to clearly focus on what is essential for the client. So we should not provide unnecessary things for the client. So for example, if we are taking this example, if you are a pure vegetarian, what should be the menu card exist with? The menu should be existing with only the items which are specific to the pure vegetarian. So it should eliminate the unnecessary things. So whatever is important for the customer, only those has to be provided. So see here, customer should receive a menu card relevant to their needs instead of getting a general menu with unnecessary items. So if you are a vegetarian, you should get only a card which specifies only vegetarian items. If you are a non-veg, then you can have a card with a non-veg items. And if you are expecting a baker items, then the card should specify only the baker items. So splitting a common menu into smaller specific ones reduces unnecessary dependencies and minimizes future changes. So what was this principle stating? So splitting a menu into smaller specific ones reduces unnecessary dependencies. So if we are just specifying the things with a detailed clear-cut way, so that we can minimize the future changes and also we can have a clear-cut indication of things. So this is regarding interface segregation principle. So let us see the last principle in the solid principles, that is dependency inversion principle. So dependency inversion principle, simply stated as DIP, as a principle in object-oriented design that states that high-level modules should not depend on low-level modules. So what is this DIP going to state? So it is stating that the high-level modules, whatever existing, should not directly depend on low-level modules. Both should depend on abstractions. So both of the high-level modules as well as low-level modules should depend on the abstractions. Means bigger parts of your program should not directly depend on small detailed parts. So that means the highest modules, whatever existing in the program, should not be depending on the lowest modules, and that too in a detailed way. Instead, both should depend on the general ideas. Instead of depending in that way, they can depend on general ideas. Additionally, abstraction should not depend on details. So abstraction should not depend on details. Details should depend on the abstraction. So this is what dependency inversion principle states. Example, in a software development team, developer depends on the abstract version system control, example Git, to manage and track the code bases. They don't depend on specific details how Git works internally. So what was the example stating here? If we are taking a software as an example, so the developers depends on the abstract version control system, for example Git, so to manage and track their code changes. But they are not going to depend on how the Git is working internally. So this is regarding the complete solid principles. So first one, single responsibility principle. Second one, open close principle. Third one, Liskov substitution principle. Fourth one, interface segregation principle. And fifth one, dependency inversion principle. So totally, these 5 principles will be called as a solid principles. At the end of this lecture, student will be able to explain about the solid principles. Thank you.